Osu is a free-to-play online rhythm game, and out of the top 100 most played songs, 37 of them come from anime. Depending on who you ask, this statistic may be surprising. How is it so few? Many people that are familiar with Osu consider it to be an anime game due to the sheer amount of anime openings, the song backgrounds, anime-themed fan art, and most importantly, the community. So how is it after Osu has become one of the most popular rhythm games in the world and attempts to make the game mainstream, that anime is still at the focal point? 17 years ago, on the 6th of September 2007, Dean Pepe Herbert created Osu. The objective of the game is to click circles to the beat of the music. That's it. Of course, there are other things like a ranking system where you can compete against other players from all around the world, but that doesn't matter. In fact, the game is so simple that Pepe was actually able to make the base game of Osu in just one night. That's pretty impressive. But how exactly did anime influence this circle clicking music game? Well, to understand that, we must look at the exclusively available Nintendo DS game, Os Tatsukai Wendan, a predecessor to Osu that was released on the 28th of July 2005. This game was only available in Japan, whereas the more westernized version of the game that was released to North America, Europe, and South Korea went by the name Elite Beat Agents. Both of these games followed the same principles and had a world surrounding the game, shown by a storyline, these mascots, and a mission-based system. Osu basically took the core gameplay mechanics and replicated it on PC, and because it was inspired from a game that was exclusively available in Japan, it would explain the references to Japanese language and culture scattered within the game. For example, the usage of kanji for 100s and 300s. For those who don't play the game, you get a 100 when you click the circle a little bit too late or a little bit too early, and you get a 300 when you click the circle with perfect timing. And even if you were to download the game right now and go into the pause screen, there are Japanese characters hidden right underneath the corresponding English text. Not to mention that Osu's headquarters are located in Japan.
What time is it over there?
It is 11 a.m.
Oh, so it's actually like a pretty normal time. Osu headquarters are still in Japan, right?
Correct, yep.
Okay, I see. That's super cool.
It's pretty obvious that Osu has some connection to Japanese culture. In fact, the first few beat maps ever implemented into the game by Pepe himself were Japanese songs. This makes perfect sense. Osu is a rhythm game, and when compared to other rhythm games like Archaea, or the ones you'll find in an arcade like Taiko or Mai Mai, they all have one thing in common, and that's the songs available to play. Most of them are Japanese, and this goes hand in hand with rhythm game culture. But just because a song is sung in Japanese does not mean it has a direct correlation to anime. So when I refer to an anime song, I'm talking about anime openings or songs that were made for an anime. From the very beginning, Osu had Japanese songs, but this doesn't mean there were no other types of songs. In fact, over a short period of time, non-anime songs were being implemented and the landscape was actually quite diverse. However, as the game continued to grow and its community continued to evolve, one thing stayed constant, and that's the prevalence of anime culture. This is best shown by the playable songs in the game. Using the Osu website song search feature, otherwise known as the beatmap listing, you can search up virtually any anime and still be able to find a song from it. Want to see if there are any Jujutsu Kaisen songs? Well, there they are. More of a Haikyuu person? Oh, there it is. The point I'm trying to make here is that anime is everywhere within Osu. Let's take a quick peek at the most played songs in the game. Out of the top 10, 7 are Japanese songs if we include Will Stetson's Harumachi Clover cover. Cool, we know that J-pop is one of the most popular genres of music in Osu. And according to the website, 5 of these 7 are anime songs or are classified under that genre. Some songs you may recognize are Hitori Goto from Eromanga Sensei, Black Rover from Black Clover, and Silhouette from Naruto Shippuden. Of course there are more, but these are just a few of the most popular songs with tens of millions of plays. But again, I must reiterate that just because a song is sung in Japanese does not mean it's from an anime. These are just a few contributing songs that have helped shape Osu into what it is today. But what if I told you that the excessive amount of anime openings isn't even the only reason Osu has been impacted by anime? In my opinion, it can also be attributed to the song's backgrounds. Yeah. If we go back to our top 10 most played songs, we can see 9 backgrounds have an anime aesthetic, with the only exception being this one that uses album cover art. Now that says something, and that's the fact that mappers, the people who design these playable songs, will use anime themed art in the background the majority of the time. Something I always found funny is sometimes the backgrounds on English songs or instrumentals would have an anime background or anime aesthetic. Why is that? To me, it seems like the mappers who make these playable songs are aware that the game is filled with anime enthusiasts that are clearly fond of this art, which is why they opt for something like this on popular Osu songs like Make a Move, Cold Green Eyes, and Rockefeller Street. However, this is just speculation. I don't think we'll ever get the real reasoning behind them choosing an anime themed backgrounds for non-anime songs. It could possibly be the fact that anime culture is so rooted into Osu that animated characters are just the norm and are more pleasing on the eyes. I'm sure you'd rather see some art in the background compared to something non-fiction. 8 months ago, I made a video that outlines the weird nature of Osu backgrounds and how the songs have sexual innuendos in the backgrounds in the form of cute anime girls. And since we know that anime culture is widely prevalent within the game, these backgrounds usually give Osu a negative reputation as a weeb game, therefore deterring those who are not fond of anime to disregard the existence of the game and use it as an excuse not to try it out. But at the same time, I think it allows those looking for a game with a community that accepts helps weebs to get involved in the game and potentially make more friends who share the same interests. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Then there are the skins. Osu skins are basically customizing how you want your objects or user interface to look like. You could think of it as a Minecraft texture pack for you Minecraft players. The whole point is to use a skin that you think looks nice or is more practical for gameplay purposes. However, most of the time when you go to a website to download a skin, there will be elements of anime, whether that's in the song select, on-screen images during gameplay, or even the annoying anime girl miss sound. All of these small things add up to build Osu's correlation to anime. Anyways, even though I touched on the in-game songs and their oddly suspicious backgrounds, I went further into Osu fan art contests. Osu fan art contests are official contests hosted by the Osu team, or main contributors to the game, such as developers. These contests usually follow a seasonal based theme. For example, the latest one as of recording is the Autumn 2024 fan art contest. For these contestants, in addition to the theme, you need to include any of Osu's mascots, which then turns into some beautiful artwork that most of the time is anime themed. Osu mascots themselves have been inspired by a variety of things, like fan art and the original Ostatakaya Wendan game. One of Osu's main mascots, Pippi, is easily the most recognizable, having appeared in Yandere Simulator as an NPC, which obviously has a connection with anime. It's cool to see that the community is able to turn fan art into icons for the game. But you know what else is community based? Osu profiles themselves. I'd say the majority of the time you can go onto an Osu profile and see an anime profile picture or banner. Whether this is a good thing depends on what you think, and another reason anime is so normalized in the community. However, this is wider than just Osu profiles. It's undeniable that the influence of anime has also impacted Osu's media on various platforms like Twitter and YouTube. Back in the day, PewDiePie, one of the biggest YouTubers, played Osu, and even he thought it was very anime-like, titling the video Anime AF.
Yes, I'm fucking good at games. Look at this shit. What's up? Anime!
Things like iconic Osu memes such as these two Chinese self-proclaimed weeaboos dancing to Rockefeller Street with an anime background, this was a real classic that even people outside of the games community have seen. Or even back in 2016, people were making edits out of pro Osu players who were fighting for the #1 spot in the world, and the community did this through the use of anime, like this One Punch Man edit with Rufus and Cookiezi, two highly contentious pro players at the time. And now we have cool fan animation that resembles anime. This channel has some really cool videos, I suggest you go and check them out. Almost everything done in Osu is community driven, and that's special because it allows the community to foster its own culture and choose the direction the game goes in. With that being said, it just so happens that anime culture has been staying alive the longest, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Now, to whether Osu is an anime game is a completely different question, but there's no doubt in my mind that it has had a significant impact in the community. I guess it shows how welcoming of a community Osu really has, and there should be no fear of trying to join and get along with other people. I highly encourage you to find groups within the community that seem interesting as well as giving the game a go, because who knows, maybe you'll make some lifelong friends.